This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat and slowly rip open those trapper keepers. I'm Chris, and I'm here with Mr. Ryan Hootie.
What's up, fellas? I'm ready to be very quiet today.
It's going to be the most subdued episode to this point. And with us, the first man dead in the quiet game, Mr. Nasty, a.k.a. Joey.
Question. What kind of bear is best? False. Black bear.
Got it.
It's like the only time we're ever going to get to quote like The Office. So I wanted to go ahead and just,
How long do you guys think you could go without speaking?
Like in terms of the movie? Like how long I would survive?
In life.
Oh,
I think we should challenge each other to do
my entire
this.
life not saying a fucking word.
Never say another word to anybody for the rest of your life?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I'm the master of not saying shit.
You're one of the loudest motherfuckers I know, though.
Oh, when I talk, I got to make up for all the silence in between.
As you know, love my alone time. Love it. Love being in the house by myself, going to the gym by myself, everything go to the movies by myself. The part that I would fuck up with is that I sing out loud a lot without even me knowing it.
Oh, like when you're alone in the car, just like...
Yeah, it was like, yeah, just be singing whatever songs. And that's where I think I'd be, my face getting
Okay,
involved.
if that's the case, then my part I'm going to fuck up with is like when I'm taking a shit and I'm telling
There you
myself,
go.
I'm trying to convince myself I'm never going to eat the food that caused this shit ever again.
You start praying on the toilet.
It's like, why did I have to get 3 chicken enchiladas instead of 2? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
How many times have we referenced
paying,
Taco Bell?
You're
on this
paying
fucking
for
show?
your gluttony right now, all right? That's what this is.
You know, speaking of Taco Bell, I've never had a bad reaction to Taco Bell. Never.
Bull fucking shit.
I
don't think so.
Here's my
Ain't been a
theory
man
on that.
alive.
Here's my theory on that.
I don't tell you.
You always have a bad reaction. You're just programmed to think that they're normal reactions.
Yeah, you this constant drip you've got going on with your asshole. That's not normal.
Who you're sitting on
Not
the
everybody
waste
has
bucket
that.
right now as we speak. It's like the dude who says, I smoke weed all the time and I'm not addicted.
I don't know what addiction is.
All right, today's assignment was taking us to 2018's A Quiet Place. Today's lesson, silence is survival.
Let's hop into this bad boy right now with some of these fan reviews. Got one here from Peace Bell, who saw the movie apparently 3 to 4 days after it came out, April 10th of 2018. IMDb review titled, Thriller leaves me breathless. Don't drink your soda. Don't eat the popcorn. Why, you might ask? Because you feel like you're in the movie, and any sound you make, they can hear. John Krasinski's newest film, starring real wife Emily Blunt, has me holding my hand over my mouth the entire film. Not only that, but the entire theater of people are dead silent as well. A Quiet Place is not what you expect. Sure, you've seen the trailers, and so you think you know what it's about, and possibly its outcome. Nope. This movie has its heartwarming moments and heartbreaking ones too. Wrap it up with jump scares, creepy creatures, and a suspenseful soundtrack, and you have the recipe for a crazy film. What's so interesting about this movie is how its simple concept is effective in instilling fear into the audience. I could recommend to anyone who's up for an unforgettable, frightening film. Hit him with the alliteration right there at the end. It's pretty good.
How about
Frightening film. I like that.
I
So,
think that was a paid review.
Dude, that's such like a simple but like effective review.
It's like almost
It's a
professional
little-
critic-y style.
A little too effective. It was a little like, who puts their hand over their mouth
Don't
Oh,
drink
my
your soda.
word.
Don't eat your popcorn.
watching a movie?
It does seem like a marquee type review. So
He's a mark. He's marking.
Maybe he was a young, up-and-coming reviewer trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, you remember, what was it? Annabelle, that review we had? Like, it was a kid's first horror movie. He was throwing his fucking popcorn everywhere. Oh, shit.
oh man, that part where she fell on the fucking floor and didn't fucking move, man, I was terrified, dog.
He said, let me pause it. I gotta get some more popcorn.
I love that
Scary
part where they
shit,
threw in the trash and she just came back later and just fucking sat there.
That's the kind of people you got to go to fucking movies with.
So in response, we got a not so positive review titled, Plot is ridiculous, overrated due to appeal to the hearing impaired, by Renat in April 2nd of 2019. This movie could be over with a stuck car horn and an assault rifle. Then you mix in teenage drama and getting pregnant. Like, that would even be an option in this arena. Worst movie I have seen in a long time. The premise is flimsy. The character's behavior was stupid. I really can't believe this script actually got greenlighted. I have never commented. God damn it, this dude's fucking grammar's killing me. I have never commented on any movie in my life. But after watching this lit fart, I had to speak out. I will never trust a rating again. 1 out of 10.
That one wasn't paid for. I'm going to go on a limb there.
Lit fart. I like the lit fart. That's nice. I'm going to borrow that one.
All right, so the whole pandering to the hearing impaired.
No idea what the fuck that's about here. What is this guy talking about?
I guess by casting a hearing impaired or deaf actress, do we think, in this guy's opinion, Krasinski's like buying positive reviews and buying like
a sympathy vote or some bullshit
for his film? Yeah, I think this is what this guy was.
I thought about that.
Lady was, appealing or trying to hint at,
So I looked up the fact that this girl is actually deaf, and I thought about how cool it was that they were able to find an actress who wanted to be in the film who was deaf. That's pretty cool. I mean, how many roles are out there for deaf people? Not very many. And then I thought about the replacements to where the tight end in that film was deaf in the film, but in real life, normal guy. And isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, it's not like you're asking him to do anything that requires use of his deafness. But here, this girl is clearly using her skill set as a human being in her character. And it makes sense that to have a deaf character in a movie where no one can fucking talk, the family that can survive is the family that can communicate without sound. It's right there in the script, I think it elevates the material. I think this guy's full of shit and sounds like a bit of an asshole to watch a movie with.
He sounds like a bit of a wet fart.
But a lot of the negative reviews, and I mean a lot of them, they really harped on one thing above the rest: that the fact that the characters aren't believable because the father character didn't like pull out and shoot all over his wife's tits or
like everyone else
does.
Getting
her pregnant.
Is that in the review? Lord have mercy.
Like I may have worded it like that, but they're really hung up on the fact that these parents are trying to get pregnant once again. After a certain
I don't think
event,
they were trying to get pregnant. I think they were grieving from what fucking happens in the movie.
I think they did too. I think they purposely,
But the point is,
didn't pull out and shoot on the tummy.
But this is post fucking apocalyptic world. You're grieving with the child, the loss of a child. You can't even fucking talk to each other about it. I mean, how are you supposed to comfort each other?
Isn't it kind of selfish, though, to bring a child into a world that is, by all counts, doomed?
Is it selfish to put your penis inside of somebody?
100%.
100%. Is making love selfish?
All right, when you know the potential outcome of that can put your family at risk.
I agree with you.
That is kind of selfish.
Even if you're using the pull-out method. All right, we're going to go throw some signs out here. It's not 100%, boys.
Boys, we are getting deep tonight.
This whole conversation about that, this is one of the, in my opinion, it's one of the reasons I like post-apocalyptic horror stuff so much. It always leads to a conversation regardless if the movie's good or not. People always have an opinion on how they act in the same scenarios.
Right. And there's
always
critiques.
critiques.
Grieving fucking parents here. It's a unique headspace. It's like the worst thing a person can go through, right? It's losing a child. And you add that on top of what they're fucking going through with the fucking end of the world. I mean, literally no one on planet Earth knows how they would react in this situation.
How about the audience let us know at horriblefilmschool@gmail.com what their thoughts are about this?
Would you pull out and shoot on the face, or would you just drive it deep?
Or would you do it on the lower back?
Looking forward to those emails, folks.
Or on her feet, whatever you're into.
On her feet. Yeah, if you're one of those people, just don't even comment.
If you're one of those people, send me a DM personally.
Next, we're going to hop on to directors and notable crew. So, John Krasinski.
Johnny.
Director Supreme. Chris, you want to talk about this guy?
John Krasinski, better known as Jim from The Office. Probably forever holding that spot in a lot of hearts and minds.
The Big Tuna.
Big Tuna. He's a major part of what's considered probably one of the best, most watchable, at least, TV shows of the last 50 years. So it's kind of a big deal. What? What was that, Hootie?
It's fine.
It's
the
fine.
Office is
The
good.
Office is fine.
It's fine.
It's
Tell me what's
fine.
fucking good.
Oh
man, Hootie.
no, they had it was like a 7-season stretch.
Oh, hold on. This is some Scrubs bias. This guy, I feel it coming right here.
I do love Scrubs.
You think
Also,
Scrubs is
I think-
better? Oh, that's a yes. He's hesitating.
Who was the Steve Carell of Scrubs?
Somebody that
Cox?
launched a career after
Dr.
Scrubs?
Cox?
Nobody. Everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
John C. McGinley had a decent run afterwards, but Parks and Rec was also a
Decent
fantastic
run?
show.
What the fuck was he in? Set it
Belko
off.
experiment, motherfucker.
The Belko Experience.
He went and did set it off in the fucking Belko
I
experiment.
think Set It Off was before Scrubs. So was Seven. So was Point Break. But anyway, what the fuck were you talking about? All right, John Krasinski. So.
Here we go.
John
Jim from
Krasinski.
The Office, Jim Halpert, classic character. Everyone loves him. He's great on the show. Jack Ryan, I think, is his big show that's currently running on Amazon.
Oh, that's still running.
Yeah, so
First season
I think
was
Hootie's
great.
the only one that's seen that.
you a big fan of it?
Yeah.
I have like an aversion to Amazon TV shows.
So-
So, is that one worth
Okay.
actually watching?
The Amazon has this thing with their television shows. If any of them's popular in the first season, we got to go full Fast and the Furious franchise on season 2. Jack Ryan season 1, great. Jack Reacher season 1, great. When they go into season 2, they're jumping off fucking
Oh, they're
helicopters.
in outer
and
space and shit.
It's just like, why do we have to do this? But yeah,
I got you.
I digress.
Any other roles with Jim that we want to talk about?
Jimmy
I mean,
Boy.
Leatherheads was okay.
Yeah, I just remember the poster for Leatherheads movie was kind of forgettable. I got a big note here. He is married to Emily Blunt. That's a big one for him.
Big note.
She is fine.
As of this morning, for the first time ever, Oscar nominated Emily Blunt.
Are those out now?
Dropped this morning. Good job by you, Emily.
Yeah, dude, he's Reed Richards and Sam Raimi's Multiverse of Madness as well.
Yeah.
There's been a strong push for him to reprise the role in the Fantastic Four movie that's supposed to be coming out, but I think they've already got that role cast. I didn't really look into it
It
because
was a big fan casting thing. Like, everybody was like, all right, this is the guy you pick. And everyone's like, oh, that must be why Sam kind of threw him a bone with that. He was actually like one of the last 3 people for Captain America back in the day. Chris Evans beat him out for Captain America. So
You know what's wild? Emily Blunt, she was up for Peggy Carter.
ooh, could have been
She
some-
got passed over for Haley Atwell. Because that would have been kind of like
damn.
it'd have been a cool little chemistry thing going on there too. I wanted to talk about one of the movies he's directed. Before we go any further, called The Hollers. I don't know if you guys seen this.
Krasinski
It's
directed
what
this?
it is. It's like a heartwarming type rom-com drama. I guess
No.
we're say from 2016. Star-studded cast: Anna Kendrick, Charlie Day, Charlotte Copley, Richard Jenkins, the guy from Step Brothers.
Oh, that's not what the fuck Richard Jenkins is known for, but go ahead.
What's he known for?
Oscar
Chris?
nominated
That guy.
Richard Jenkins. Get the fuck out of here.
From Step Brothers, Chris. The guy.
Dahmer.
He's a great actor.
And Margot Martindale, man, from Walk Hard.
Fucking Margot. You guys watch
Mama
BoJack
Cox.
Horseman? She's
No, but I heard it's
she's
actually really
featured
good.
so prominently in BoJack Horseman. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh,
she
shit.
plays herself too. She's like a badass like ninja. It's awesome.
I had 2 notes. He was also in License to Wed with Robin Williams, R.I.P.
Rip.
Was not a good movie. He was also considered to play Captain America, or Steve Rogers, in Captain America: The First Avenger, but the role was given to Chris Evans.
Are you just waiting for your turn to fucking talk or something?
Sorry, I think you did.
I
We
literally
just
just
talked
said
about
that.
this shit.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. I think when you said that the Oscar things come out, I've been actually waiting for those.
He
so
was
I
like Googling what the Oscar noms were on
I
the
get
side.
spaced out for a minute.
That's all.
Oppenheimer's going to
I
clean
know.
the house. I'll go ahead and tell you now.
I don't know if you fellas know, but he also was going to play Captain America.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah, and I heard his wife was going to be Peggy Carter. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, honey is flammable.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Dude, when are we gonna stop fucking talking about this?
We'll just text Teddy everything we're going to say so he's prepared ahead of time for next time.
Here's the thing. After hearing that, I'm kind of scared. I literally
guys.
have a fucking space in my pantry that's like 9 quarts of honey. So
you
if
get honey from?
if there's a spark somewhere, I'm going up in
Do you
flames.
have a space heater nearby the honey?
Everybody around here knows I'm a fiend for
Where the
honey.
hell you getting honey from?
People bring me honey.
I need some.
Why don't you just try to lighten some of it and just see if
Oh
it's
no,
true?
I eat it. I can't eat
Slather
it
it,
fast
on your,
enough.
slather it on some of that chest hair and just spark it and see what happens.
Every time I get a biscuit, dude, I put honey on the motherfucker.
You like a fucking Winnie the Pooh bear over here.
Dude,
Jesus.
honey on a biscuit.
Sometimes we'll
like,
come down there. He's just wearing a red T-shirt and he's like stuck inside of a hole in a tree.
I ain't wearing no fucking pants at all.
It's just
Fucking
his straight,
his ass is hanging
straight
out.
butthole when you pull into the driveway. I'm like, oh, Joey's stuck.
Joey's stuck again.
Oh, Christopher Robin. How the fuck does Pooh talk?
It sounds like Bane. Good God.
Oh, Christopher.
I haven't practiced my Winnie the Pooh in ever. So.
You merely adopted the honey. I was born with it. That's pretty good.
That was not bad.
Any other crew members you guys want to talk about? Writers such as Scott Beck and Brian Woods?
Yeah, I had them
Such
written
as.
down. They apparently a pretty prominent co-writing team the last couple of years. They wrote together Boogeyman and 65, that weird Adam Driver alien joint where it's like dinosaurs or some shit. I never watched it.
Oh, they wrote that?
Yeah.
I watched that on a plane coming back from somewhere. I don't know where I was coming from.
From the guys
With
who
high
brought you
hopes.
snakes on a plane
With
comes
high hopes?
dinosaurs on a plane.
With high
wait,
hopes.
wait. You
Because
don't wait to watch something on a plane with fucking high hopes, Ryan Hood.
Well, it was high hopes for a plane movie.
Okay.
If that's the category.
B
What's
plane
that
movie.
shit? What's that shit? This motherfucker. What's that shit with Will Smith and his son?
Pursuit of Happiness.
No, something Earth.
First Earth or I know what you're talking
Alpha
about,
Earth
yeah.
or some shit. I had really high expectations for this one, guys.
Well, I mean, there's just certain things like,
Beyond
this will
Earth?
probably pass.
Fuck, I don't know.
This will probably pass my time well on this flight. And I started 65. I had to stop it. It was so bad.
Damn. I love Adam Driver, though, man.
It's like Adam Driver in Jurassic Park fighting dinosaurs. It should have worked.
He's up for a Francis Ford Coppola movie, I think.
Probably Metropolis. Is that what it's called?
Metropolis, I think.
Yeah,
is,
I think that's already been made. It's supposed to come out this year.
No shit, nope. Yeah, these Scott Beck and Brian Woods guys, like you said, they're a dynamic duo. I almost thought they was Siamese twins or some shit because they literally do everything together. But yeah, they wrote and directed this movie called Haunt 2019. It's like an extreme haunted house movie that's supposed to be pretty good. So, if you guys got some free time, around Halloween next year, check out Haunt.
Spooky season. We got one more behind the camera guy we got to shout out because this movie would not be complete without his
Sound guy?
participation. He is a producer by the name of Michael Bay. Bay.
What?
Michael Bay produced this, boy.
Bumblebee!
I did not know that.
No, what did he say?
Not like-
Optimus! God, Megan Fox bends over and she's working on that car. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was a poster in my room for a bit there.
Sweat's just dripping down her breasts. Ooh.
I mean, I just had the picture of Shia LaBeouf, but she was in the background somewhere.
She's like out of focus.
I love fucking Shia, man. But yeah, he got he got the Friday the 13th reboot. He has a hand in these things, man.
I mean, he definitely makes stuff move. I agree with you there.
Oh, I don't know how this Friday the 13th
He's
is going to go.
He's
man.
an ally, as they say.
You're
Joe.
talking about Crystal Lake, right?
No, I'm talking about the reboot. He produced that one.
Like the TV show?
The
Oh,
movie.
the one from 2010.
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't a bad movie.
And he did the Texas Chainsaw reimagining and all that stuff. He's produced a lot. He's done more horror stuff than people probably think or give him credit for.
I didn't really look up the guy's name, but whoever handled the sound department, kudos to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great. He or she did a great job.
That person definitely contributed
There
a
we go.
lot to
Person.
this movie.
All right, on to interesting factoids. I'm just gonna drop one little bombshell here, and I'm gonna let you guys run with the rest of it.
Wait, is it the fact that John Krasinski was almost Captain fucking America back in 2012?
Well, fuck me. You just
I don't know
fucking
if you guys
just pulled the
knew or not.
goddamn rug up on me, bro.
He was almost Buzz Lightyear back in 1994 as well.
Yeah. In Leatherheads, he almost played the football. It was crazy. But yeah, there was talks from Paramount. Paramount, right? They're the ones that put this out.
Platinum Dunes, I think, was the production company.
Well, they were production, but I think
I
Paramount
don't know who
was
distributed it,
distribution.
though.
Yeah, it's Paramount.
I think it was Universal.
But,
everything is Universal these days. I don't know.
It was Paramount. I remember the star thing over the mountains.
I watched too many movies. I can't remember the last.
Well,
banner
the
I
big
saw.
deal about it being Paramount was
Here we go.
there was talks about making A Quiet Place a part of the Cloverfield franchise
They got to give us
as
thing
in
up.
the fourth movie. Glad they didn't. It's as much as I love Cloverfield, Cloverfield, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Cloverfield 4, which is coming out. We're not going to really talk about the Cloverfield Paradox because that movie fucking sucked dick.
was about to say, what was 3?
Drop that one out there.
But yeah, they didn't go that route. Krasinski wanted it to be its own, not really its own franchise, but its own IP, and it paid off. So.
Yeah, I think he's still, even though he's not directing the new stuff, he's still producing it. So, a very good financial decision for Mr. Krasinski.
There's not going to be a third one.
He did direct the sequel, didn't he?
He wrote and directed the sequel, but the third one, or I'm sorry, the day one
prequel.
There's a prequel coming out that he has story credit for it and a production credit, but he's not the director for it. It comes out in like 2 months. Suck. It comes out this year. It's got Digimon. I always forget his last name.
Digimon.
Yeah, he's like Digimon. He's like, I think he's the main character in it. Don't quote me on that though.
Oh, that's great. He hasn't had a leading role in a while.
Michael Sarnowski. That's the director.
Oh yeah, it's the kid who did Pig, right?
That's the dude who did. Oh God!
The Nick Cage.
That was terrible. Oh my God! What just came out?
Look out the mic.
Some honey.
I tried to do a
coming out of there. You know that shit's flammable, right? What are you doing drinking it?
God damn it! He had a honeycomb stick popping out of his mouth.
Damn, this motherfucker breathing fire right now. What's he got? Honey.
Do you have a honey spoon? I don't know what they're called, but they're like, you know.
Here's the thing: I always have honey within
in
reach of me at all times.
Yeah.
If I reach behind me right now, there's a thing of hot honey on my dining table, like my table.
His living room is a beehive right now.
The place is littered with fucking honey.
Mike's. That's some white guy's name.
So good. Never expires. It doesn't. No, I don't know what the fucking argument is here. It's a fact. It's a food fact.
I don't know if he was me dropping fake news like that.
If you,
I know Cat Williams.
Anthony Bourdain, if he was still around, he would fucking tell you that this shit don't expire.
Well, he's not around, Joy. 2 screenwriters began developing the story while in college, and John Krasinski read the spec script, hired to direct and rewrite the project himself the following year. That's pretty cool.
Who were those guys?
Beck and Woods, the 2 screenwriters. They came up with this while they were in school still.
It all comes back around.
Fucking kids, man. And it's pretty interesting. Apparently, when they went to Platinum Dunes about the project, they specifically wanted Emily Blunt to be the mother. So they sent the script to John Krasinski to play the father. And that's kind of how he gets the credit for taking it over and kind of making it his own. So
I read somewhere he turned it down initially. He said didn't do horror movies.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely not within his wheelhouse.
More, I mean, as we'll talk about later, it's the family elements of the movie is what drew him in.
Yeah, I think they had just had their second child when he got the script, and that's kind of what triggered his idea for what the story could be. So he pitched like his version of the story to his wife, and she said he should direct the film.
I read in that kind of the same snippet that you just laid out that Emily Blunt basically told him, "You should direct this."
They said he wrote it, well, he rewrote it because it was already written, of course, with his wife in mind, but he refused to ask her to play the part because she just had the kid. She was working on another movie, and he was worried that she would either decline it or accept it just to support him, not because she actually wanted to do it.
She was working on Jungle Cruise with The Rock. He was like, I
was about to say, in 2017, what the fuck was she working on?
Jungle Cruise.
Probably, yeah. It's possible. But the point is, when it's like somebody you care about, you show them something you made, you're like, you can't really take their feedback seriously. They're not going to tell you if it's dog shit.
This is very true. Krasinski wanted his movie creature to be extra special, and so he discussed its general design and animations with industrial light and magic veteran wizard Scott Ferrier, whichever way, who'd been responsible for some of the most memorable effects, such as Cocoon, 1985, fucking Backdraft, 1991, and Transformers, 2007.
Fucking Michael Bay.
Who was
there
the
it is.
monster in Backdraft? Isn't that about
You
a
get the
goddamn
guy from
firefighter?
Backdraft.
He done all those fucking fire and stuff, Joey.
Oh.
He was like, man.
The monster
I
don't
need the
breathe
guy from
fire.
He made the
Backdraft.
ball ride, motherfucker.
What he did was he took the fucking Nemesis from Resident Evil and just like did some weird shit with it.
That's actually
Not the
a good
Nemesis, but the fucking liquor. Sorry.
I don't know why I remember this, and I think y'all got the same bootleg copy. Wolverine Origins,
Oh,
a
yeah.
bootleg copy came out early on
With the
where
wires
Hugh
and
Jackman didn't have claws and there were
He was
wires.
pretending he had the hook.
We're talking about the Ryan Reynolds thing
Yeah, you remember that was a big
where
leak
it's
that year.
CGI'd on top of the fucking what is it? It's not a silo, but the nuclear power plant
Yeah,
thing.
at the end of the movie when
Oh
he's Deadpool.
God. Oh, it was so
Yeah,
bad.
okay. Well, to that point, I'm glad both of you remember that. For the first test screening of this film, audience members laughed in scenes with the creature present as the CGI for the creature was either not finished or completely absent, leaving John Krasinski in a motion capture suit for scenes where he played the monster. Further screenings were well received once the CGI was done.
No shit.
All right, this movie's strong point isn't the CGI. We'll go. I'm gonna put it that way. It's not really a negative, but yeah, if you have to see a movie like this and the antagonist is a fucking guy from The Office running around with a bunch of balls,
Jim
like
Halpert?
ping pong balls attached to himself, yeah, it's hard to take the movie too seriously.
What if he's doing like the Jim face, just like ironically while he's in character? He just keeps looking at the
Could you
camera.
imagine the scene where he's running through the woods and picks the kid up? It's just him running through the woods.
I'm gonna go with the most generic stat that we've started to include in all our reviews here. 17 million budget, 341 box office.
Boom.
That's a smash.
That's a big one.
It's huge.
17 million.
That's a lot of CGI too. That's a good use of that budget, I would think.
Shit, a lot of this budget went to fucking corn.
They did go to corn.
They literally
That's a good
planted
thing.
all the
I don't
corn in
remember-
this movie.
I don't remember any corn songs in this fucking movie. What are you talking about? Was
They
it Got
hired
the Life in there? We should that's a fucking project for the fans. Someone rescore this movie using only Jonathan fucking Davis drops, and I will pay you $50 for it.
This heart is killing me.
God, some corn, man. I love riding.
No,
to some corn.
all right. I guess all right. I got another cool thing that was in my brain, but I didn't really put it down. They hired farmers to actually like farm, like plant this corn and have it like ready to go. So this is all grown
like
for
farmers
the movie.
though? Is it like farmers only? Like, how do you know
It's
where
upstate.
they are?
No, it's upstate New York.
Is that
Upstate
Michigan?
New York's got a lot of farmland.
Do they have like a website, like farmers.com?
Oh, farmersonly.com.
They
Yeah, I'm
probably
looking
went to,
for a
like,
wife. She's got to know how to cook and she's got to know how to fuck.
Not necessarily in that order.
If she's got more teeth in her head than she does fucking nipples, I'm all for it.
I know in the South we have something called a Tractor Supply. So maybe they went to their version of a Tractor Supply and just asked around.
A little meat cute at the Tractor Supply.
Little meat greet. Hey, buddy, I see you buying some cow fertilizer. Why don't you come to my house and plant some corn?
So corn, man, corn.
Which I have. There are a lot of things in this film to where I question how they did this quietly. How do you plant that much corn quietly?
Well, look, not to
A
really
lot
get
of
off,
fucking corn.
not to really get off topic, we also have some shit called tractor pools down here in the South. That's where a bunch of dudes on tractors get together and jerk each other off.
They see how far they can ride that motherfucker, dog.
That's only after the competition. It is a real competition to begin with.
Fucking corn. Taking this
Corn,
one taken out of
buddy.
this movie. Corn.
Corn. This corn is
Let's talk
very
about it.
vital to this the economy in the post-apocalyptic world of upstate New York.
And they put it all in the silo without making noise. There are a lot of questions around the corn.
He's a very crafty dude, man. You see his fucking basement? He was into all kinds of shit.
That's true.
But the last note I had about the box office, I know there is a sequel to this movie. Spoiler alert, we're not talking about it today, but it's kind of, I think, a point of conversation that movie was the highest grossing, quote unquote, pandemic movie. So I guess it's just proof that this franchise actually does have more staying power than people might have.
Oh, you mean it
expected.
wasn't fucking Bird Box with Sandra fucking Bullock?
Wasn't that a Netflix? I don't think I ever saw that one.
It's a
was
rip off of this
forgettable.
movie.
Man, it was pretty much.
But yeah, I think it hit almost over 200 million during the pandemic, so that's fucking impressive.
You guys ready to jump into this thing?
I'm gonna be quiet.
Shit, fuck up.
Here we go with 2018's A Quiet Place. Day 89. We open in an abandoned upstate New York town. A family scavenges for medicine and supplies at a local grocery using sign language to communicate, being careful not to make a sound. Barefoot, they make their way home, using small tracts of sand to absorb the thud of their footsteps. The five of them continue their trek across an old truss bridge, the youngest falling behind, a toy rocket in his hand that his sister snuck him from the food mart. The toy's sound effects pierce the silence as his family reels in horror, his father racing back across the bridge as a thunderous gallop is heard in the nearby wood. The young boy's sister, deaf and unaware of what's happening, watches in confusion as her father races past. The confusion soon turns to terror as a monstrous figure bursts through the trees, snatching the oblivious child just as his father lunges for him. Title card, A Quiet Place. So Chris, as the lone father here, do you feel a certain type of way?
Yeah, this is
with
rough.
The way this played out?
This sucks. Watching it in the trailer, it's a bit painful. So I remember that it was coming, but it doesn't make it any easier to watch, brother.
In the opening grocery store scene, the shelves are mostly empty, except, and I had to look for this because it was not like in your face, for the aisle with the potato chips. This was because nobody wanted to risk making the noise that would attract the monsters. So, Joy, could you resist?
I'm fucked in this scenario.
There you go.
The first thing I'm going for, because, well, your boy is a big fan of fried potatoes. If that grocery store's got a bag of voodoo chips, we're all fucking dead.
Oh, the voodoo chips are so good.
We all fucking dead, because guess what? They got the spice and the crunch that my body craves.
I've started to pick up some wrap snacks. Those are fantastic as well.
Ooh,
the
boy, them shit's
Rick
good,
Ross
boy.
wrap snacks. Yes.
But yeah, this whole derelict town situation, I guess it's not really derelict, but it's like abandoned, right?
Yeah.
We come from a relatively small town. Do we see, let's say this event happens, here. It takes 3 months for this town to get the way it is. Like, whatever events caused civilization to collapse, do we think things would have gotten that bad that quick?
I think so.
3 months?
Because that's a great point about our town. Very small community, but people are outspoken. And if you make people be quiet, stay in their homes, and then survive off, being quiet and eating what you only need.
Eating corn silently.
Wouldn't happen. Because as soon as somebody fucked around and tried to take somebody's food, they're going to shoot a gun, and then the monster's going to kill everybody.
They can just come up here, but they better not try that in a small town.
How about that?
You goddamn right.
Best thing about honey, too, is silent.
You can eat honey silently.
I can eat that shit all day.
They can hear your bees buzzing when you go to get more, though.
That's another thing. How did the raccoon live? I got something.
How do raccoons live?
Was we watching the same movie? Because the raccoon in this movie didn't fucking live.
I understand. How did he become a grown raccoon to begin with?
He adapted,
The baby
man.
raccoon's going to be crying. Baby raccoon is going to be crying with mama.
You don't know what that fucking raccoon's been through.
I know a lot about raccoons.
Some bitch. But yeah, the kid's death. So how do you guys feel about it? I think you should have a different perspective than I do. For me, it's just horrible and heartbreaking.
It feels forced that situation played out. Like you got this family, and some way, the smallest, most vulnerable member of the family manages to fall
in the back. Yeah.
Now, I guess you can say if it was his sister's responsibility to keep a hold of his hand or some bullshit, hey, sure. He's literally like a good 8 foot back from the rest of the family. Feels kind of forced, but at the same, it's obviously terrible. It's a fucking 4-year-old child.
Everybody in this movie is fucking anxious, obviously. Anxiety's on high, but yeah, add a sick kid into that mix, it's...
What could that kid have had if he couldn't... All right, this kid is like the middle child, right? And he, for some reason, they got to get medicine. What fucking sickness did he have?
He just had some kind of fever, man.
Make this motherfucker walk.
I once got the flu so bad I passed out in a doctor's office. So I feel for the kid. Now, I did drive myself to said doctor's office and then pass out like a good citizen. But
like a good American, he didn't kill anybody on the way. He could have. In retrospect, probably a terrible idea that you did that, Hootie, but we're glad you're safe.
But
buddy.
I made it, okay?
As far as like a way of opening a movie, like starting a movie off in the first 5 minutes, the shock value alone it leaves you with an impression of what you're in for. I thought that was fantastic, but in terms of like believability, it's kind of hard to believe.
So you're saying this as like you're judging the parents for their actions? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'm just judging the actual Like, how genuine does this feel? You're 3 months into this, event that happened, and you let it play out the way it did. It just doesn't feel genuine.
Do you think they would be more in tune
Yeah,
with the situation?
they would be far more cautious.
Well, I mean, it kind of comes back as a point later for Emily Blunt's character when she kind of breaks.
Oh, yeah.
So
It all ties back around.
Like, as a parent, you do things. You always think you're doing the right thing. But when you fuck up, it really eats at you. But we all fuck up. That's just human nature. But there's nothing worse than fucking up as far as it relates to taking care of a kid.
Yeah, but how much more of a fuck up can it be? It's bad as it can be.
Well, I'll let you know when I'm in a fucking post-apocalyptic world how I'll behave, Joy.
Oh, trust me. If I'm in the post-apocalyptic world,
I'm walking to your house.
I'm running a gang, brother.
I'm getting a big-ass bag of sand.
Gang?
I'm walking to your house.
Another question in this movie, where'd all the fucking sand come from? But I digress.
Day 472. Over a year later, the Abbott family continue to adapt to this new silent world, minus their youngest, Bo. Evelyn, the now pregnant matriarch, and her daughter Reagan gather vegetables for dinner while her brother Marcus fantasizes about learning to drive a truck. Their farm consists of rows upon rows of corn, silos, a farmhouse, and its barn. Down in the house's basement, Lee Abbott sends out SOS calls over a signal-boosted ham radio to countless international shortwave frequencies, without a single reply. The walls of the bunker are littered with newspaper clippings and headlines. Alien invasion. 10 landing spots confirmed. Meteor hits Mexico with the force of a nuclear bomb. Shanghai death toll in the hundreds of thousands. Get underground. They can hear you. Dejected, the patriarch consoles himself atop one of the silos. Pictures of his lost son bringing both comfort and grief. Lighting a fire, he stares out in the sea of trees around his home as several other signal fires from other survivors burn in the distance. After some dinner and a close call with a pair of loud-ass raccoons, Lee retires to the basement to work on a hearing aid for his daughter before he and his wife end the night with some iTunes and Neil Young.
And again, we need to get a song by Korn put in place of the Neil Young there.
Got the life. He's over there fucking headbanging and shit. She's over there doing the corn, the cotton picking thing they used to do in the fucking hardcore dance pits.
If this happened in the real world right now, I would be screwed because I live in a pretty large city to where I'd be cooked.
See ya. We down to 2 hosts. We keep making the podcast. It's in silence though. We just record us sitting here silently for.
We'd have a in the arms of an angel type
tribute to Ryan
moment.
Hootie.
Yeah.
We just play back the Ryan Hootie greatest hits stuff we already recorded.
Remember that time that John Krasinski almost played Captain
God
America?
damn it again.
There was a whole Reddit sub, whatever those are called, about this film and the fact that electric waves, and when you use electricity, it does produce sound, which they were saying would have been picked up by the alien creatures.
Also, like
people have taken this movie and fucking tore it an asshole.
I mean,
a new asshole when it comes to like plot holes and
it's the sound issue, right? It's like what counts as
issue.
being audible to these creatures. Like it doesn't seem consistent, but again, we're watching a motherfucking science fiction end of the world movie, pretending like we understand the rules.
Does sound have like some form of electromagnetic like wave frequency or some bullshit? I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. I think it probably explains it in the second movie, spoiler alert. But every time the creatures are like on screen and there's like a light source, like an electric light source, the light source like flashes.
Oh, so you're thinking they have some kind of like property within them that nullifies light sources?
Or I guess like it disrupts electromagnetic currents or some shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that ties into sound because I'm fucking dumb.
Yeah, that's a step beyond my physical knowledge of the world. So
people on Reddit are
you
real
that
smart.
Big ass
though,
bald
apparently.
head of yours don't have that fucking knowledge in there. That thing glistening in the sun, looking like Mike from fucking Breaking Bad.
I remember what I needed to pass the exams, and I got out. But yeah, so she's pregnant here. It's kind of we talked about at the head of the episode. Still making love, huh?
She is plump.
Are they making love silently? I know now people were talking about why would they be fucking.
I'm gonna tell you.
Was that a silent ejaculation?
Boy, they get into the shit I'm into. Ball gag and all that shit.
Dead
boy.
fucking silent.
Take a pair of my fucking dirty socks, shove them in the fucking mouth.
I mean, that's just got
In your own mouth?
I just got it. Myself and the listeners got a graphic there. You imagine these two just dead-eyed at each other. Can't make a fucking peep.
No, they'd be crying. They'd be laying on each other's chests. They'd be slow and passionate.
Here's the thing. They was probably fucking in the damn soundproof bunker. So
That's what I was thinking, too. But it seemed like...
That's why he made it.
I
be getting loud
I was
in
of the
there.
same mindset, but once the bunker comes into play, they're acting like it's the first time they've used it because they're surprised that it works.
Oh yeah, it's being prepared. It's still in the process of being prepared.
So they're surprised
Be
that
prepared
it
with some of that
works.
shit Joey likes.
Yeah.
We got a neighbor Joey down there with some. He took a bunch of socks and was just down there getting it ready for us. I don't know what the fuck.
That damn dude got a gorilla or some shit in his fucking.
Oh no,
garage.
Joey. We learned in Dream Warriors that Joey likes the paper,
Paper
the flower
mache.
water
Yeah,
paste
paper
shit.
mache.
And they paper mache the shit out of that basement.
Oh yeah, they soundproof the hell out of it. It's got like egg cartons everywhere. It's got the mattress, all that stuff.
The mattresses was the kicker.
So this is gonna be the last thing I ask about what can get you killed here, because obviously, if we talk about this all day, the movie's just gonna fall apart and it's a waste of time. But if you farted loud enough, are you dead in this?
You better shit your pants.
Oh yeah.
So they haven't
Any
farted
sort of-
in a year and a half.
They haven't
audibly.
established it. At
But when I'm
this
asleep, I'm a guy who holds his farts in because I'm polite. But when I'm
point.
asleep,
What?
you ever woke yourself up with a fart while
Huh?
you're asleep?
You just fucking hold your farts in till you are by yourself and you let out one biggin?
He's polite. Joey damn.
Polite
be
to who?
walking
You
around
work at
farting
home,
on you.
motherfucker.
He's got his
You
children.
Well, you
walk with my
polite to
son
yourself?
and fart on his head in the middle of dinner? No.
Everybody told us no.
I've heard him audibly fart and laugh about it.
He does that.
Who's he learning that shit from?
He
No
said,
comment.
He said, I'm a nasty bastard.
But the point is, like, I hold in my farts, but no one can hold in farts forever. Everyone in this movie has farted in the last year and a half, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we
I
get
farted in the
real
last
deep
5 minutes.
That's not real deep, man.
We're getting
Everyone
real deep.
farts.
now. I mean, everybody does get shit too. Sometimes those are audible.
Here's the thing. All right, we
There's
talk
no
about
audible
this.
shits in this movie.
We're talking about all these farts, right? The diet.
All these farts,
pe-
multiple farts.
The diet these people are on.
It's
It's
a lot
kind of
corn.
established. It's established right here in the scene.
a lot of fucking corn.
I glossed over it a little bit. I don't want to get in this. I already get into super detail when we talk about
You
stuff.
know that corn
but
is squelching out of that asshole, though.
literally, what they're eating here, they're eating fish, they're eating corn, and they're eating some fucking root vegetable. Probably they're eating like yams or something. Ain't none of them gonna make you take a damn. They ain't gonna make you take a
potatoes.
damn Chick-fil-A sauce shit.
This is going to be a little bit of run every once in a while.
And they probably all have like pillows on their ass like a muffler.
With dieting is I didn't realize I used to work at a hardware store with a guy who told me that this is a true story. Told me that he did not eat corn ever because your body doesn't digest corn, and he didn't like shitting out whole corn kernels. That ain't never happened to me in my
What's
life.
he reaching down there and grabbing them and flicking them?
That's what
Why
I
is it-
said.
Is he
I
investigating?
eat
it after the
watermelon
fact?
all the time, but I don't give a fuck about the seeds.
I don't know what to tell you, but the guy didn't eat corn. Couldn't go near it.
He's freaked
What
out
about like
by it,
sesame
huh?
seed buns?
Well, Nate, you'd have to ask him. I don't know. I'll never
Well, I
forget
guess
that.
in my mind, he didn't like anything his body can't process.
He's got corn.
Every time I
phobia.
eat corn now, I think of that guy.
I think of that guy's asshole just with
Damn, you
corn
gonna spend the
kernels
rest of
hanging
your
out.
life thinking about fucking.
What about popcorn? Is he popcorn?
So you saying if this guy was on Fear Factor and they had corn in front of him, he'd lose?
He's cooked.
He
He's
said,
done.
I'll,
He's
eat,
walk
I'll
off.
eat these 3 cow dicks, but I am not
I'll eat
touching
these
that fucking
cockroaches.
corn.
I'll eat these live cockroaches, but I won't fuck with this fucking kernel of corn.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, I'll eat this cow's dick. Here's a bowl of fresh buttery corn. Fuck no.
The butteriest of course.
What's this fucking dude for? Y'all got the hot sauce.
Oh, Tyrone
The dude-
Biggum.
the Tyrone Biggums. I feel like at this point we can talk about the actors and actresses in here,
it's
even
time.
though it's kind of it's a short list.
It's a
Moody,
quad set.
sound like you was very enthusiastic about that. You go ahead and hit us with it.
I just had one snippet about Evelyn, who's played by Emily Blunt. Y'all can go in on what she's been in.
Fucking
But I found something fascinating because she's such a well-respected actress or actor. But a little tidbit about her is that she stuttered severely as a young girl and ultimately overcame her problem by finding a different quote unquote voice, which when her eyes was acting. And she cites her friend Colin Firth's stammering King George performance in the King's Speech in 2010 as an accurate depiction of how she actually spoke as a youth.
Fucking King's Speech, man.
I had speech issues until I was probably in middle school, so I can also relate. I thought that was very cool considering that this woman speaks impeccably.
She's like a very elegant speaker, especially with the whole British accent.
Yeah,
Motherfucker talk about you make me happy.
That was me.
Yeah, I really like that movie. Colin Firth and who's the dude from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush. King's Speech is a great movie.
I'm good at
that is a cool little tidbit right there. But as you said, we do have some facts here about Miss Blunt. She was originally cast as Natasha Romanoff, a.k.a. Black Widow in Iron Man 2.
Oh, shit. MCU, baby. Keeps it all
Dropped
together.
out because of Gulliver's Travels. I think that was a big win for everybody. Not to shit on Miss Blunt, but Scarlett Johansson, she got me looking like she got me feeling a certain type of way.
I just rewatched Under the Skin the other day. My God.
I'm not going to say that Emily Blunt's a better actress than Scarlett Johansson because that can be debated for days. I mean, okay, there you go. But
depends.
Scarlett Johansson has a larger frame.
Emily Blunt, we're talking about what she's been in. She broke out Devil's Wear Prada. She was in Looper. Great fucking movie from 2012. Edge of Tomorrow. That was another big science fiction banger for her. She was in, was it Mary Poppins that they redid too? That was her.
You remember they tried to make us think that Joseph Gordon-Levitt grew up to look like fucking Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Edge of Tomorrow, but it also had the same thing as Happy Death Day with it's basically watch a Groundhog Day.
But yeah, we already talked about Mr. John Krasinski, kind of already been in what he's been in. I was going to highlight Millicent Simmons. She plays the daughter in this movie. Reagan, is that her name?
Yeah.
Character names are tough in this one because no one really speaks, so forgive me if I forget people's names.
For us to give them names, I think we're kind of cheating, right?
Because we only know that based on...
Like, I don't think you definitely don't know their last name until, like, late in the movie. But even the first names, like, when do you know the first names?
But yeah, she grew up with ASL, American Sign Language, which she used to help teach her fellow actors to sign. A good reason to hire somebody who has lived this life. But she said that each character's sign language reflected their own motivations. The father was short and brief because he was always focused on survival, while the mom's sign language was more expressive because she was more into the children's experience as opposed to just pure survival mode. Thought that was pretty cool. There's actually like personality in the way that they're using sign language.
So what you're saying is Lee Abbott, a.k.a. John Krasinski's sign language was blunt?
A little blunt.
Ooh.
Emily's not so blunt.
Pretty good.
But yeah, I guess he was more sharp and to the point and aggressive with his movements. So I think that's kind of cool.
Much more elegant with hers.
It's a cool wrinkle to add to a movie that you probably wouldn't notice if you were just a layman like us regular dumb bastards.
Now that you say it, though, you can kind of see it when you think about it. John's very aggressive.
Right.
They didn't really go into it, but it said like her disability, her deafness, I guess, came from like a medical or medicinal overdose when she was
she was a baby,
like an infant.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, what kind of medicine do you give a baby to make them go deaf?
There's all kinds of like weird shit that happens with young kids that can cause all kinds of strange reactions. Like some people believe that autism and that kind of stuff can come from vaccines, and you should really never really know what you're gonna give a kid. What the fuck could happen?
Too much Vicks Vapor Rub.
You just never
like burn the chest.
I'm telling you, man. Shit. There's nothing more anxious than someone giving you a baby and telling you not to break it.
Also, let's talk about Noah Jupe for a second as Marcus, the middle brother. I guess at this point the youngest kid in the bunch. He played young Otis in Shia LaBeouf's Honey Boy.
Honey Boy. Yeah, I knew I'd recognize this kid. And I didn't look him up because I wanted someone else to tell me what he was in. I love that fucking movie, dude.
Oh, he's been in something else that all three of us has watched on Christmas Day many years ago.
Oh, is this like a fucking riddle here, Joy?
Are you talking about Scrooged? I fucking love that movie.
You talking about Backdoor Sluts 9?
I don't remember that in theaters either. He was in Holmes and Watson.
What the fuck was he in that movie?
I don't know, but he was
The fuck is that movie?
We saw
I
it
don't
Christmas
remember that
Day.
movie.
That horrible Will Ferrell, the John
Oh,
C. Reilly.
yeah. John C. Reilly.
God, dude, that was bad.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
There was a Big
It's
B
bad.
scene in that movie. Remember that? Yeah, shout out to Honey Boy. Got to get my Shia LaBeouf in here. I wonder if this was, again, another Michael Bay connection. Maybe that's what got the kid cast.
Day 473. The day opens with a little unborn baby TLC, some homeschooling for Marcus, and some good old-fashioned teen angst from Reagan towards her dad. The two argue, using ASL, about the hearing aid he's working on. But the petty argument is just surface level. There's deeper guilt there from both sides, causing a rift between the two. Unable to break through, Lee gathers some gear, leaving his daughter with the sound amplifier before collecting his son, bidding farewell to his girls, and heading off into the surrounding forest to check their fish traps, much to Reagan's frustration. In response, the remorseful teen packs a bag and sneaks away to her brother, Bo's graves, leaving her mother to her chores. Later, with fish in tow, the father-son duo begin their trek home, passing by a run-down home and its inhabitants, a shabby old man and his wife, who lay torn apart at his feet. With nothing left to live for, the man howls just as Lee snatches up Marcus and sprints a safe distance away, taking shelter behind a tree. Mere moments later, a hulking being rips through the brush at blinding speed, decapitating the elder where he stands.
Did we get a good look at the creature here, or is it still kind of vague to this point?
Vague for the most part. Why is this motherfucker laughing? What did I say that was funny?
What was
He's
so
gonna make
funny
fun of
about
how I
this?
fucking said something.
You think old
No,
man
no,
suicide
no,
is
no.
funny, you piece of shit?
It's nothing Joey said. It's something my own dumbass thought watching this scene with the old man.
Let's hear it then.
It was a confusing
thought
scene.
the old man had eaten the man on the ground.
That's a woman!
It was confusing.
wife.
Or whatever. I don't know.
Eating her!
I thought he was
Fuck
eating.
me!
Yeah, he just got fucking bored and snapped.
And then I realized there's no blood on his face, so
This
he
dude
couldn't
was
have eaten her.
this dude was tired of eating corn and said, "Fuck, I need some meat."
He said he's just looking at a pile of his own shit. And it's just filled with corn. He said, "Never again. I'm eating."
Here's the thing:
this."
his fucking shit was just corn. There wasn't no shit there.
There was no brown. It was just yellow. It was just one globule of corn.
Body couldn't digest it. But it was only after the fact, after the alien eats this old man, I realized, wait a minute. He wanted to die because his wife died. He didn't eat her.
Suicide.
Yeah, he had nothing to live for.
But why the fuck?
Here's the thing, too: the aliens actually don't eat people.
Yeah, they just attack, right?
Yeah, they literally attack.
But we don't know why. Why? Okay, old man suicide is what this was, right? I had a question. Is that what?
This is like suicide by cop.
It's very vague and like it's framed in an unusual way. But he sees, I'm gonna call him Jim. He sees Lee and his son before he does this, right? He acknowledges their presence. Why the fuck is he putting them at risk? Is it just bad timing on their part?
I think it's bad timing. That's what it wraps up to.
But it seems like he's standing there for an hour. He's like, okay, let's get the fucking monster over here and kill everybody.
Well, maybe he sees the love of his life on the ground. He like blacks out. He's just trying to soak it all in, and then seeing those two broke him, like woke him back up, and he was like, "Oh, it's time to check out."
Got a theory behind this.
Here we go.
Check this theory out, bro.
Checking it.
So in this scene where they're checking their fish traps, the young boy is scared, right? He's scared because checking the fish traps, the fish, sometimes make noise when they jump in the water and they splash. To calm his son down, Lee takes Marcus to a nearby waterfall
So they can
where he screams and he shows him, hey, and there's a thing established in the movie at this point. The creatures won't attack as long as the consistent noise is higher or louder than whatever noise is around it.
So like they've gotten used to the sound of like the brook, whatever, the waterfall.
Yeah,
as long as you're
it's
beneath that
consistent noise. It's not a
volume, you're
threat.
fine.
Yeah, it's not a threat. But the boy yells, and now he's comfortable being there and handling the fish and all that other shit. What if when they yell, it echoes off a fucking rock or some shit and gets the wife killed.
You think he got the wife killed? That's actually a pretty good
Dude,
theory,
I'm
though.
thinking John Krasinski just got this person murdered.
Nah, it was a little boy definitely who killed the wife. It was his yell in particular that got the wife killed. Had to be. And the old man saw him and was like, all right, motherfucker, you want to scream? I'm screaming back at you. It's kind of like a good mirror of him screaming back in their face, too, if that's what triggered it.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about the relationship at this point between Reagan and Lee? I alluded to it a little bit, in what I was saying about, there being some deeper tension there. There's obviously some guilt that they both don't really share outright,
Harper.
but they actually do share. They don't, they aren't communicating about it.
Which is ironic because they can't communicate in this situation. It's kind of the whole crux of the movie is two parents that can't grieve because they can't even speak to each other. And he got a child that he's got to share some kind of guilt with because she felt responsible for her brother's death, but her dad can't even talk to her about it. He can't get his feelings out about it. So it's like taking a family and putting them in the worst trauma of their lives and kind of just freezing them, and they have to live
There's
in
no
that
there's no
space.
release at all. It's
Right.
just built and
That's
built
what's
and
the
built.
movie is the definition of tension because it's all image based. There's no sound, and you think about anytime we watch movies or stuff like how does everything get resolved? Usually they'll say if you're writing a story and it's a problem that can be solved by two people just talking to each other, then it's not high stakes. It's not even worth making into a thing. But these people literally cannot talk about their fucking problems.
If
Very
there's
clever.
ever been justified teen angst, I think this character definitely has a reason to be, pissy.
Yeah, and it's hard to interpret that as the viewer because we're not, like me and Hootie just now having questions about this old man suicide. Like, we don't know why people are doing the things they're doing because no one's fucking talking. So it's way more reliant on body language and the images compared to the things that we're used to in a conventional story.
To piggyback on that, it was extremely effective that she didn't want the new developed earpiece from Lee when he first gave it to her because obviously that tension. But then when she goes to a room by herself, you can see just the trauma that builds up, and she actually does want to see if it works and just see what her father had actually made for her. And she actually cared about him, which that got to me.
Yeah, you can see here she blames herself, and she blames herself, and she feels that Lee also blames her as well. When in reality, I guess he blames himself.
Yeah, it seems like he's working overtime for her in particular, to try to make her to understand how he feels about her. He puts more time into taking care of her than almost anybody else.
Yeah, it's typical mannerism, man in capital. Yeah. Like just to keep yourself busy and not focus on
not to deal with the problem.
How you're feeling. Yeah.
Be a man.
Back on the farm, Miss Abbott solemnly looks through family photos in Beau's old room before the unexpected but inevitable happens. Her water breaks. All alone, she races to the basement to prepare herself, only to impale her foot on a dislodged nail, seeing a glass picture frame crashing to the cement floor. Whimpering in pain, she presses on, activating the red warning lights strewn across the farm just as a creature arrives and begins stalking the home above. Now shrouded in the dark of night, Lee and his son arrive home to be greeted by the blood-red glow of the warning lights and sprint across the sand-laden ground in search of their family at the barn. Evelyn, with the help of an egg timer, is able to distract the creeping beast long enough to make her way upstairs and to the front door, only to be greeted by the chittering of a second creature just outside. Unable to escape, she hunkers down in a bathtub, no longer able to hold back the contractions. Unsure of what danger his wife is in, Lee sends Marcus out in the fields to put in motion their contingency plan while he arms himself with a shotgun. The young boy sets off a series of fireworks that explode in the clear night sky, alerting Reagan, who sees them in the distance, herself now racing home. Lee carefully navigates the vacant farmhouse, following his wife's bloody footprints to the tub, empty and covered in blood. He mournfully slumps down next to it, fearing the worst, but only momentarily as he finds her alive, albeit exhausted, in the shower next to him, their newborn baby cradled in her arms. I got right here. Damn dog, she's squirting.
Yes, this is kind of like the poster for the movie. Her in the bathtub, holding back the scream. You got a shadow over her shoulder. Like the last thing a human being would want to do in silence, I guess, to give birth.
Here's the thing: she stepped on a fucking nail in silence.
That's
like
true,
literally stepped on going through your entire foot in silence. If she hadn't had the picture frame in her hand, she wouldn't even had to worry about nothing.
We talk about why the nail sticking that direction out of boards did not make sense.
Oh yeah, I don't know why you would nail up. That don't make any sense.
What are we doing?
But yeah, as a man, not knowing the pains of childbirth, the nail through the foot, I had more of a reaction to that.
Oh, I know a nail through the foot. Holy
that
shit!
Was like something about the hands and the feet. When you see them get like mauled in a movie, man, it makes me cringe.
We used to step on nails constantly as kids.
Yo,
Why?
you're a fucking idiot.
Why were there so many fucking nails around?
Turning boards upside down, making the nails go up, and then just laying them on the fucking ground.
Who the fuck is putting Home Alone traps all around the house?
Y'all had them blue collar uncles.
Damn right. We're just practicing our nailing and then throw the fucking scraps in the backyard.
I did enjoy the piece on Lee had thought about this day, obviously, probably since she had learned that she was pregnant, and put together all these traps, the configurations to distract the monsters. That was pretty cool.
Clever way to do everything. Lee's a very intelligent person. I'm not sure if I don't know if in the sequel they address it, what his profession is, what kind of a guy he is, if he's an engineer or something.
Well, we know he's a farmer.
Do we know he's a farmer? I didn't know if that was their farm.
Well, he's got a mailbox that says fucking Abbott on it.
Or did they ever call each other by their last name?
No, but it's on the mailbox.
I just thought they were like posted up.
Motherfuckers ain't getting mail during the apocalypse, the damn sound apocalypse.
You didn't think they were like squatting on someone's property?
Goddamn
Walking Dead
USPS
style?
be breathing loud as hell walking around delivering all the packages.
The boy's room was rather well decorated. I would say he was probably lived in that room.
Yes, their pictures are of the house
room.
too. So
I hope they didn't make that room after he died. That'd be weird.
yeah, this is their farm, but I thought he might have been like some sort of farmer. I mean, we know farmers are gonna be crafty anyway. I mean, a lot of them are like self-made and they want to do things for themselves. Maybe he was like an engineer or some shit. Now I think Evelyn was like a school teacher or something, where she was homeschooling Marcus earlier in the movie. So I think her profession might have been like teacher or something.
But yeah, the whole giving birth scene, we kind of get our first good look at the creatures, and had a note here. They were talking about the idea for the creatures, which Hootie kind of alluded to earlier. They wanted it to be a somewhat humanoid design. The initial creature designs, they had like a rhinoceros horn coming out of their face for some reason. But they later just used references from our actual world, prehistoric fish, black snakes, and bats, particularly their movement patterns. They were also inspirations of bog people, cadavers that had been mummified in peat, turning the skin black and giving it a saggy, leathery look.
If these fucking creatures had echolocation, boy, we'd be fucked.
I think that the impetus of the character of the creatures was echolocation. Like, what if that was a superpower for bad? Was kind of the idea behind this. Are you saying if they can actually bounce sound themselves?
Yes.
I got you. Yeah.
Well, I guess they could be because the
triangulate
chittering they do, it could be.
Yeah, it's like they're feeling for vibrations in the air.
So for that bathroom scene, we all know it's like the best piece of the film as far as Emily Blunt's acting. She's doing a great job, very dramatic. Apparently that was done in one take, according to John Krasinski.
Shit.
And after she was done and he called cut, she asked, "When's lunch?"
Fuck yeah.
Imagine after that scene, you just get like the bloodiest steak of your life.
You know, they fucked like mad dogs that night when they got home, too.
Juicy.
Let's put another one in the oven, girl. Another kind of interesting note around the childbirth, because I know this is kind of like a big point of contention for the movie. Why and who would ever want to have a baby in a situation? Roman Catholic Bishop Robert Barron was surprised by what he called strikingly religious themes of this movie. He also suggested this is a pro-life movie because the choices of the parents to risk everything in order to give birth to a child.
Now you talk my language, brother. I think there was some left-leaning political people that did get upset about this movie, because of that reason and because of like the pro-gun angle of the movie as well.
Oh, and none of it makes any fucking sense. Which I'll
Any
wrap back
sense
around.
whatsoever.
Exactly. I'll wrap back to it at the end. But there's a quote about some gun stuff that makes no fucking sense to me.
What's the pro-gun stuff?
Remind me. I'll touch on it here at the end once we actually see a
I'm very
gun for the
confused
first
about that.
time. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. The whole pro-life angle of this. People saw it because when I see movies like this, I don't know if I'm just a sucker for world building, but I get into it and I try not to project 2024 United States of America on the shit that I'm watching.
You know what I'm a sucker for? Cornrows and manicured toes. Oh, remember that?
Oh, fucking Nelly throwback, baby.
Making his way back, Marcus stops dead in his tracks at the sound of rustling behind him. Frightened, he makes the mistake of sprinting through the cornfield, knocking himself out cold on a tractor tire. Lee carries his exhausted wife and child from the house and into the barn, the wailing of the baby attracting one of the creatures as they take refuge in the soundproofed cellar below. Lee lays his wife out on a bed and comforts the newborn before placing an oxygen mask over its face and lowering it into a covered wooden box, muffling its cries. Reagan, unaware of what's transpired, spots her brother's flashlight in the field, but is left enfeebled by the ever-increasing squealing pitch of her cochlear implant, as a nearby monster convulses violently to the same sound, dashing away from the girl. Down in the safe room, Evelyn snaps to and admits her guilt at the loss of Beau. Lee tells her to rest and vows to find their children, heading topside, failing to notice the busted water pipe starting to steadily leak water into the room below. So this motherfucker pulls a straight up Three Stooges move running into a tractor tire.
He's a little kid, man. Give him a break.
Holy shit, dude.
He's scared. See some shit in the corn, you start running.
And it's just convenient that the aliens or creatures didn't hear him running through the corn.
I've read a theory that the red warning lights, they like emit a steady sound, or like even an electromagnetic like field
It's
or
like
some
a
shit.
pulse or something that's emitting
That
sound.
like distracts the monsters. That's why the monsters. It could be something just to explain a plot hole, or whatever.
They're all fucked up when the red lights are on.
But it's saying when they're around the farm, they're all kind of like hampered in terms of how well they can hear.
When the monster reacts to the implant, the cochlear, her earpiece or whatever, this shit reminded me so much of Venom from Spider-Man 3, the Topher Grace Venom.
Are we supposed to believe that they go in this barn and into this bunker and he can just slide a twin mattress over a hole and that's going to just soundproof the fuck out of it?
Well, all right, you say that. You ever screamed into a pillow?
Joy says like he does this a lot.
I mean, I don't know what sexual stuff
You
you're
got-
doing,
no,
but
it got nothing to do with being sexual. You got a pillow right behind your head. Let's do it. Let's do a thing. Take it off the back of there and
Put
scream
it in
into
your
it.
mouth.
that's the, we're
I'm being serious.
doing
Just
it
scream
live,
into it.
folks.
Yeah, we're gonna hear how muffled this is.
Doing it live.
Put it all over your mouth.
That's pretty fucking loud.
I couldn't hear you, dude.
We didn't hear anything.
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing on the
Yeah.
mic.
Point proven.
Well, all right,
I
folks.
put
There
the
you go.
microphone down your throat and look me in the eyes. Don't blink.
No, it's like soft material is like really good about muffling sound. I think that's believable. I don't think that's a plot hole at all.
Okay. Well, you just proved me.
No. That's
I think it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
I think it's important because we finally get Emily Blunt some speaking, some dialogue, and she's obviously the best actor in the movie. So it's good to hear her
Oh yeah, I
speak
didn't even
and
go
actually-
over the fact that they're actually speaking down here.
Yeah, she has an emotional moment, and we actually get to hear her speak, and it's definitely a release, at least as someone who loves movies and actors, to see someone actually get to let it rip for a minute here.
Yeah, here it's another example of the shared guilt. Like all these people feel isolated by their guilt. They feel they share their guilt alone. When
Yeah.
each of them feels, just as guilty as the next.
Yeah, they're all walking around pent up, just biting your tongue all day, every fucking day.
All but Marcus, motherfucker
Torment.
scared of a fish. Reagan makes her way to the flashlight amongst the crops and finds her brother sheltered beneath the tractor. The pair seek sanctuary atop a silo attempting to alert their father and nearby survivors with a signal fire, but to no avail as Lee traces their steps through the broken corn stalks below. The sound of rushing water wakes the exhausted Evelyn, the room around her submerged in waist-high water, her baby casually drifting around like Moses on the Nile. The soft cooing of the baby contrasts to a sharp hiss across the room as the frame of a beast stretches out and gracefully plunges into the water. Carefully striding through the flooded room, the mother takes the babe in her arms and stows away behind a sheet of rushing water, with the alien resurfacing mere feet away. Atop the silo, brother and sister argue silently about their next course of action. Before a decision can be made, however, fate intervenes, and Marcus is plunged into the silo's depths, the sharp sound of metal drawing the attention of both Lee and the creature in the cellar.
So this piece, when they light the fire, which I think we touched on a little bit at the beginning of the film. Jim does it at the beginning, or Lee.
Lee, damn it.
Sorry, Lee. And all the neighbors have theirs lit up. There's probably, I don't know, a dozen neighbors around. It was very effective, but also confusing on why when the kids did it, there was 0 other neighbors with lights on. So does that mean the aliens just chose this of all days to kill everybody?
I think the kids couldn't make a fucking fire worth of shit. Like, the fire kept going
Inadequate
out.
fire.
She was literally pouring entire bottles of fucking fire juice on the on the fire, and it was just going out super fast.
They were trying to signal their dad, right? That was their only intent.
Yeah, I think it was just for the dad. But at the same time, I understand what you're saying, too. Because if it's a nightly thing that they do to, like, I don't know, give themselves hope that there's other people out there. Yeah. It's kind of weird that the signal wasn't returned. Or it could be a metaphor for, like, no one's coming to help.
When Lee puts his flame up, though, isn't it like right at like dawn? The sun's just going down.
That's true.
This is like pitch black, so this might be like past their ritualistic time of doing it.
Yeah,
it might be like 3 hours past.
This is usually Joy's territory, but I thought on this for a little while and did kind of my own little theory here of perhaps these things travel in packs, and this is just a happenstance of this is a pack running through this section of upstate New York, and it killed all the neighbors.
Fucking pessimistic
That'd be fucking
much,
depressing. Holy shit.
Maybe everyone you fucking ever met is dead. Deaf.
Yeah, they this pack.
Deaf kid and your brother who is crippled with fear.
Better watch out for the wolf pack.
But yeah, the water scene is great. Definitely reminded me of Pennywise. The flooded
the way he
basement.
popped out of the water right there, like right at the baby's head.
Because she steps down into the water and you're like, oh, fuck. And then the fucking creature goes into the water and it's like, oh, god damn. That's scary.
How
man.
graceful did that thing like just go into the water?
It was so smooth.
It was like a fucking snake going into like water.
I felt my butthole pucker up on that one.
Dude, I felt my dick a little bit hard.
How about that? I
kind of wanted to fuck the alien in that moment. That ear hole, though.
Are we just supposed to just not acknowledge or care how or why this alien got into the basement when it was flooded?
It was just following the sound of water. I mean, the fact that she didn't wake up while it was happening, yeah, I guess that's kind of unbelievable. But she did just have a fucking kid with no epidural or any of that bullshit. Yeah. So she's got to be wasted.
Well, you're asking how much the structure of the barn has been compromised due to the water? Is that what you're asking?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
Maybe like I guess during the flooding, like some boards gets knocked loose in the basement or something. Who knows?
Yeah, but damn,
the mattress didn't move.
It's not a tsunami. It's just like water casually dripping. Or not casually dripping. It's a busted water main. I mean,
they're not in a waterproof room.
It was probably that fucking paper mache that got all fucked up when it got wet.
Fucking Freddy Krueger did this shit.
I said, where's the fucking whiskey, bitch?
Where's the bourbon, bitch? Still want that fucking toy.
Within the walls of the granary, Marcus is rescued by his sister in a falling metal door as the kids narrowly escape drowning in a mountain of corn kernels. Before they can catch their breath, a monster leaps down and pounces on the kids, who are only saved by the metal door and the deafening squall of Reagan's hearing aid. Bursting through the metal frame, the creature makes its escape, followed by the young Abbotts, who reunite with their father. The younglings take refuge in an old truck, while Lee arms himself with an axe, only to be struck by the massive claw of the lingering beast. Unable to control himself, Marcus screams out for his father, drawing the attention of the monster who charges the truck with reckless abandon, tearing at its windows and frame. Reagan watches with tears in her eyes from the rear window as a wounded Lee staggers to his feet, his torso torn open. He smiles at her, signing his last goodbye as he lets out a pained scream, drawing the creature's attention long enough for Marcus to put the truck in neutral and escape back to the house. All right, who cried?
Just a tearjerker moment right here, man. I did.
Motherfucker, I did too.
I couldn't help it. I got a fucking kid.
This is the most heartbreaking. This ain't got nothing to do with kids. This is just watching a man finally able to take all that grief and all that pain that his daughter's feeling and just take it away. Like in one fell swoop. It is a heart-tugging moment.
That's great dialogue that you don't even get to hear.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I'll admit I cried like a baby when I first saw this. I didn't do it in the rewatch.
This motherfucker's in the damn theater getting jerked off, crying and shit.
This tough-ass piece of shit. Yeah, this is definitely like the emotional crux of the movie. After this, it's kind of just all the ideas that Krasinski had are kind of represented in this scene more than anywhere else. It's the ultimate showing of love, you know.
He signs "I love you" and then he signs "I have always loved you."
Yeah.
That second part right there, that's what gets you.
That chokes you up.
It was actually Millicent's idea to have that line because it was just "I love you," and she felt like it would be more appropriate for the character's relationship between father and daughter.
Yeah.
To kind of
It's a good shout out. Considering that she was saying that Lee was always signing very directly, like he might say "I love you," but I've always loved you. Something like the mom would probably say. It's a more like personal touch as far as expressing himself to his daughter.
And we just conveniently have the truck pointed towards the house, ready to be thrown in neutral.
Yeah, I think that was intentionally that way, wasn't it?
It was intentional that way, but this is a lot of.
I think
that worked out perfectly.
Lee's a fucking genius, man. This dude's like fucking. This is Kevin McAllister after fucking Home Alone. He's full grown. He's got a family.
I am going to sacrifice myself right here in that
one.
truck.
Son,
it's going to be barreling towards the house.
Take the e-brake down. You're in fucking neutral. Let's go.
I'm going to be dead, Marcus. Okay, I'm going to be dead.
It makes me forgive all the plot holes and all the rules of sound that we're going to use to try to tear it a new butthole.
Well, the movie it's really easy to pick the movie apart, but it takes a lot of effort to do that, man. I'd rather fucking sit here and just watch the shit and enjoy it.
Exactly.
Are there many worse ways to die than drowning in a fucking sea of corn?
I know, man. That's fucking nasty. As I was watching it, I said,
"Holy
shit! Can you drown in fucking corn? Do people die in like corn silos?"
I think that is legit. Like,
how do you get out?
Danger.
How the fuck?
You don't get out. You fucking drown.
So is there like human bodies in my corn?
Oh, they fucking lower something there to get you
definitely
out.
Dead rats.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Oh yeah, they got a certain amount of. Y'all know in peanut butter there's a certain amount of rat shit that they're allowed to have in there.
With wheat, same thing. So much bread, you can have like X amount of rat shits per pound of wheat.
Love it.
Sometimes I just say, give me extra,
There's no way you can die from corn. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the corn.
It's like quicksand,
What
bro.
do you fucking mean? It's
breathe,
like
man.
quicksand. Your lungs have got to be able to take in air. Where's the air coming from?
But do you get sucked into corn, though? It looks like you get sucked into it.
You can definitely die if you're submerged in anything that's solid, but that was my question is, does it function like quicksand? How do you get pulled into the corn? Is he panicking? Is that what's happening? He's kicking it up or something?
I think there's probably like pockets of like air and shit in there from the corn fermenting. Because corn's going to eventually ferment if it's getting any sort of
so there's
like
popcorn
liquid.
down there.
No, dumbass. There ain't fucking heat down there.
Wait a second. So you can drown in popcorn. That makes more sense. Okay, I got you. You're right.
I think you could probably drown in anything. Let's say if that thing was full of like chicken wings.
If it was full of
you
honey.
fucking just fell down into it, you're gonna fucking drown.
What if it was a honey salad?
All right, I guess you won't drown, but you'll you'll suffocate.
Yeah, you'll suffocate. Obviously, anything that's gonna get lodged in your throat and clog your breathing paths. But it's the quicksand aspect that I don't get.
A bunch of mild buffalo sauce just in your lungs.
There's popcorn in there. That makes sense.
We could debate this till until tomorrow. But I think we should tell the audience, horriblefilmschool@gmail.com. Tell us what you think about corn and silos of death.
And tell us about honey pots. Where can we find one the size of a small building?
Let's wrap this thing up, shall we?
That's what she said. It's my last office joke.
That's what fucking Jim should have said.
That's what Emily should have said, yeah.
Hey-o.
Let's wrap this thing up, buddy.
The last 4 members of the Abbott family hunker down in the farmhouse's basement, where the siblings finally meet their new brother and discover the labors of their father's work and research. Before long, however, they're greeted with the sound of thundering footsteps as the creature follows the sounds of the rolling truck and finds its way to the basement. Evelyn, armed with Lee's shotgun, looks on in dread as the beast prowls the room, its armor plating too thick for the shots to penetrate. Reagan, recalling what happened in the silo, turns on her hearing aid, the shrieking tone causing the creature to recoil in obvious pain and discomfort. Using her father's ham radio to amplify the sound even further, Evelyn takes the shot, blowing the alien's head apart as its plates expand and open from the shrill sound. Lying dead in a pool of its own blood, the creature's brethren barrel full speed towards the commotion as Evelyn chambers another shell. So ends 2018's A Quiet Place. What y'all think about this ending?
It's a great
Dude,
ending.
I thought this ending was so fucking good.
It's ballsy, man.
There's this build up the entire fucking movie of all this shit going on. And they finally found a way. They're about to get some fucking release in A Quiet Place 2.
When she wrecks that shotgun, that was very badass.
That's so badass, man. That's like some fucking, dude, that's some Terminator shit, bro.
It's badass. It's a great ending. There's a single gunshot in this entire movie.
There's some Sedakana.
There is one gunshot. And with that in mind, I'm going to read
That's
this
the
to
one.
you. Richard Brody, writing for The New Yorker, criticized A Quiet Place for what he perceived to be inclusion of pro-gun themes in the film. It brings out the idealistic elements of gun culture while dramatizing the traumatic implications that inevitably shadow that idealism. John Krasinski addressed this, stating, "I never saw it that way or even thought of it until I was presented to me in that way. This film wasn't about being silent and political. This whole movie was solely about parenthood." When the guy who made the fucking movie can tell you that, what does that tell you about your analysis?
Man, you know this Brody dude's a type he wants to suck off the fucking aliens and breed with them or some shit.
You're a fucking idiot. There's one gunshot in the whole movie.
How would he have killed the alien? That's what I would have asked.
He wouldn't have
Maybe
killed
better
him. He
idea,
would have had a
but-
damn alien baby with him. He would have fucking spliced the gene pool.
He would have Aliens 3 with him. I understand.
He would have spliced with him. He would have fucking species.
I forgot about Splice.
I ain't.
That shit took a turn.
I watched that one
was
scene all the time.
not expecting.
Another thing he noted was it was the antithesis of Get Out. He included Get Out in his criticism of this movie. When you get these, like, people have opinions, they push their motivations or how they feel about the world on the movies, and you have the person solely responsible for making the movie telling you, never crossed my fucking mind. I think that kind of smacks your ideas in the face.
I got a better question, Chris. And we can put it to bed. Let's find this guy and let's email him or call him or do something with him and ask him what he thought of The Mist.
That's a pro-gun movie, right?
Love that movie. No! No! Oh, God, no!
Complete. He's killing everybody.
Get it done. But yeah, like, the ending is fucking great, man. Rewatching the movie, I remember kind of how it ended, but I didn't remember exactly how it ended. And seeing it the second time, it was like a revelation, man. It felt great. This is definitely how Venom was defeated in Spider-Man 3.
Jesus
Peter
Christ.
Parker surrounded him with fucking poles and just whacked him until his little head went. Sam Raimi did it first, is what I'm saying.
The symbiote does not like high-pitched noises.
Aliens don't like fucking loud noises. So
don't.
what are we all gonna do when we get fucking aliens?
When they say no one can hear you fucking screaming in space, that's exactly what they're talking about.
So when the aliens come around, we're all gonna get our iPods out. We're all gonna sync up and we're gonna play Korn as loud as fucking possible in rhythm to defeat this.
When the alien.
Hey,
comes
you
around.
play that, your ass is dead. I'm playing fucking My Maria by goddamn Brooks and Dunn.
Brooks
They gonna
and
hit
Dunn?
that high note.
Mama
They gonna
Maria.
Maria.
Damn aliens might commit suicide.
They hit
if
that
they
high
fucking
note.
hear
That's
that.
the shit that makes their brains explode.
Thank you, Ronnie Dunn.
I love you. Y'all remember when I made that dude play that shit at the ball? he was doing requests.
Oh yeah, the
I
kid
said,
with the guitar. That was
let me
great.
choose the fucking hardest shit to sing.
I told him, I was like, bro, let me hear strawberry wine. Just give it to me straight.
Yeah, Chris want to have sex with him. Good Lord.
Chris trying to fuck this dude.
Wine. But I'm just saying, just imagine like blind, just fucking blasting. These fucking aliens would lose their shit, man.
Do you want to give them more reason to be fucking
Doo-doo,
violent?
doo-doo, doo-doo. You know you would get fucking pumped if you had a
Last thing I want to do was die to a fucking soundtrack.
Are you ready?
Chris is going to be sitting there bleeding out the Seven Nation Army.
Die with an air guitar in my hand. That's the way I want to go. All right, that's it, boys. We wrapped it up. A piece of memorabilia we want from this here 2018 joint, A Quiet Place.
This seems to be like we're all going to pick the same thing. So I'll go first. I'm going to snatch that hearing aid due to the fact that it is the only thing throughout the entire film that we know even slows down these spawns of Satan.
Oh, I'm going with that fucking oxygen tank, brother. I'm trying to get fucked up.
Oh,
You gotta have your head's not the size of a baby though.
My nose is. My nose, I
You're
fucking
modified.
put that shit on my nose.
I can see Joy with a baby's head on this big ass body.
I be fucking high as shit.
Well, me, man, I've been cooking a lot lately. I don't have an egg timer, so I'm gonna get the egg timer off of Emily Blunt here and put it to use.
Yeah, motherfucker, what are you cooking?
I don't know. You never know when you need a fucking egg timer.
Egg timer good for 60 seconds.
Memorabilia in place. Get out those grade books. Hand down letter grades for Mr. Johnny Krasinski.
all right. 2018's A Quiet Place is a film that I remember being extremely hyped when it came to theaters. And of course, I was one of the thousands who ran to our nearest cinema to watch it opening weekend. Now, when we see trailers that proclaim best horror film of the year or the next horror classic, we now have to take that with the smallest grain of salt known to man. Studios slapped this on everything now. However, with A Quiet Place, it was completely warranted. Krasinski's directorial debut was fantastic, thanks to the MVP being, of course, his own wife, Emily Blunt. Even the children they cast for this held their own, which is something that, as you both know, I do not say a lot. Usually, the child actors bother me in all these films.
Usually, who'd he say? Fuck your kids.
Just kids sometimes are really bad at their jobs. This film gets an A from me and is widely one of the most rewatchable films we have covered to date.
A Quiet Place is the rare horror movie that blends suspense, emotion, and terror. The movie has a unique enough premise centered around a world where silence is a matter of life and death, and that aspect plays incredibly well in a movie theater. Some great kid acting, like Hootie mentioned, and the Queen Bee on the set, Emily Blunt, really elevate the material. Ironically, John himself may be the weakest link as far as the actors are concerned. The minimal dialogue ramps up the visual storytelling and the tension. It's truly a director's movie. So again, the pendulum kind of shifts back to John doing a good job here. As much as I usually digress from the creature porn, the heart of the story here simply clicks with me. Family Man, it's a family movie, and it bumps this up a notch. Mr. Jim Halpert, Johnny Crass, you will be passing my class with a loud and proud A-.
Holy fucking shit, that was a pretty good movie, huh? 2018's A Quiet Place, in the simplest terms, is a tension-filled, suspense-driven horror thrill ride, while at the same time being one of the most heartwarming and heartbreaking horror movies I've ever seen. It's horror with a heart. The premise isn't really anything special. We've seen horror movies built around the concept of sound being a protagonist's Achilles heel, with Tremors and Don't Breathe, but it's the execution that makes the movie unique. It's like the silence is a character unto itself, and it really does set the movie apart from anything else. For a movie about silence, the sound design is something to behold for sure. It keeps you white-knuckling your seat while also playing with your heartstrings. So the performances, they're fantastic. It's beneficial that John Krasinski both starred and directed, because what he gets out of the characters is exactly what he's putting in and what the movie needs. And with he and Emily Blunt playing husband and wife, you feel the natural chemistry they have both on and off screen. Speaking of Emily, Blunt's great. Millicent Simmons is perfectly cast, and even Noah Jupe, who plays kind of a bitch character, is genuine and true to who his character is. This is a character-driven movie that just happens to have deadly monsters in it. Also, seeing how the family adapts to the new ways of life is really interesting and one of the more enjoyable aspects of the film. Being driven by sound or lack thereof, there are a decent amount of jump scares, but for the most part, they're legitimate with only a couple of eye rollers. But it's to be expected from this kind of movie. Now, there are plot holes that people have over the years brought to the forefront, and this is the type of movie that, yes, if you want to be a stick in the mud, you can pick it apart. But me personally, I'm a sucker for horror films that just throw us in the middle of some chaos with minimal explanation. The Thing, Cloverfield. Man, that stuff is like MSG to me, and Jim nails it with A Quiet Place. If you haven't seen it, my guy Dominic Toretto said it best. There's always room for family. 2018's A Quiet Place grades out with an A.
Look at that stamp of A's.
Sweeping. I was kind of like hesitant to get mine on there. I was like, I'm going to be the overreactor here and say this was a fucking A and look like an idiot.
Here's the thing. If you're, like I said, if you're really the type that wants to get into the science of the movie, if you want to get into, oh, this doesn't make sense if A and B doesn't equal C, blah, 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 you'd probably say it's a fucking B or C movie. But if you watch it to have an enjoyable time, the movie is undeniably fun, or not undeniably fun, but undeniably watchable, and it's a good movie.
And we're going to recap some audience score guesses from Rotten Tomatoes. If anybody is within 5 points, they choose our next flick. Otherwise, we're going to spin the random wheel. Joey was a non-participant since this was his choice. So between me and the legendary Mr. Ryan Hootie.
Jesus.
Legendary loser.
Mr. Hootie went with an 80%. I said 84%. Actual audience score is an 83%.
Y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me.
That was a good one.
That's a fucking yikes for me, dude.
That's a bang bang chicken and shrimp winner for your boy.
When am I going to be able to pick 13 ghosts, guys? Okay?
When is anybody going to pick 13 fucking ghosts?
You know what? I was planning on sandbagging for the next few we're going to do, but now that I know 13 ghosts on the list, I'm about to just go in. I'm going to start cheating.
He's in
I'm
full
start fucking
Dennis Rodman fucking mode now, boxing out. All right, so yeah, this is in my court. I will tell you, I was looking over our catalog recently, and we haven't seen Highbrow Chris in almost a year now.
God,
The Wicker Man. It's been a while, so
that was good though.
Let's check out 1922's Nosferatu.
that would be fucking fantastic. But I know how much of fucking losers you two are. So,
Isn't it a silent film?
so in the interest of keeping the fun train rolling here, I'm gonna actually divert into my, I wouldn't say lesser, but my campier horror movie choice here. We are in the dead of winter here in the northern hemisphere. Fuck, it sucks. I'm cold.
Cold as fuck.
It's a little miserable. So I thought we'd take a little trip down under, looking at Australian horror for this next flick here. A little movie from 2005 that I have not seen, but have heard good things about. It is called Wolf Creek. All right, folks, we are going to watch the trailer for 2005's Wolf Creek. If you hop on the YouTube channel, you can watch our reactions in real time there. Otherwise, we'll see you in a few. All right, boys, that there was a trailer for Wolf Creek. You're welcome. We may have a new horror icon on our hands. I can already tell from that. Since this is my choice, I am not guessing that fan score guess. So you two have at it.
I know I'm going to hit him with a tried and true 69, baby.
This is going to be a 69 too. Watch Gary.
It's going to be a 69 on the fucking dot. I'm on a roll, man.
Me just get a 55, swing for the
Jesus.
fences. Probably
He's
gonna
so
miss.
fucking
55.
enthusiastic about this.
55.
He can't drive.
He's already
55.
resigned. He's already resigned.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you for listening. Check out our website, horriblefilmschool.com. You can find links to all the podcast platforms, Instagram, merch store. Give us a follow, leave a review, all that good stuff. Send us some fresh AA Duracells so we can ride these rockets to the afterlife. I'm going to say goodbye and offer my support to women birthing human life in silence. Humanoid monsters be damned. You are the baddest motherfucker around.
As always, if you're hearing our voice, tell at least one person you know. Spread the love. Spread the campaign of the Horrible Film School. And I'm going to go find out what it's like to have a shrimp on the barbie. And I'm out.
Thanks for all the likes, the subs, the listens, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us next time when we take a trip down under the fucking down under the sea, a trip down under in 2005's Wolf Creek. Class dismissed.